Hey y'all, I'm Sharnae, the founder and CEO of and creator of Reaching Your Rainbow, where I support you through and provide you with the skills, tools, and resources to heal holistically on a mind, body, and spirit level after miscarriage and go on to conceive naturally and experience the birth of your dreams. Please know that if you haven't miscarried and you're on your conception journey, and you want to conceive naturally and heal holistically before you conceive and have experienced a holistic pregnancy. The information and support provided through Reaching Your Rainbow will serve you along your journey as well. So if you haven't watched the first two videos, but mainly the first video, where I tell of my story of miscarriage and healing through miscarriage and conceiving naturally, I invite you to go ahead and watch that, because today's video is simply to remind you of the power that you possess, and that piggybacks off of those videos. And please know that that's one of my life's mission and my spiritual purpose and my spiritual assignment, to remind women of the power that you possess. And I wanted this video to serve as a notice, or just simply a drop into your awareness, that you are always in control of your bodies and doctors are not. They don't have the final say. You get to tell doctors what it is that you want. You're in control. And this video will just serve its purpose to share with you those experiences of, what it feels like to not be grounded in your body and know that you are in control, and also when you do learn that you're in control. So I need you to know that during my first pregnancy, which resulted in the miscarriage, I wasn't grounded. I was uncertain. I had no guidance, and as a result, I was frazzled during and after my very first prenatal appointment. Due to my nervousness, my blood pressure was elevated. And also I was by myself because it was around COVID. I think COVID had just ended and there were no guests allowed with the patient. So my partner couldn't accompany me at the visit or in the room to calm me down. So because my blood pressure was elevated, once it wasn't going down after they had tried to check it in one arm, the other arm, tried it again, I was slapped with the label of high risk because of all of the factors. The first pregnancy, being by myself, being nervous, not really dealing with doctors, and all of the things. I was high risk because of high blood pressure. So I was prescribed blood pressure medicine. I didn't take it, but I did stress myself, trying to ensure that I would eat everything that I could to keep my blood pressure low, constantly checking it, and trying not to stress, but stressing and keep your blood pressure low is simply counterintuitive. And it just, kept my blood pressure constantly being up. Worrying about my blood pressure being up made my blood pressure go up. They also wanted me to fill up I think it was about a gallon sized bottle of urine to monitor my potassium levels. So that's something else for me to think about. I'm going to the bathroom and I gotta pee in a bottle. I can't pee inside of the toilet. Just so many things to think about outside of just being able to exist in pregnant bliss. And it was too much for me. And I realized I have been a part of that practice for a very long time. From teenage age, with having my first pap smear and all the gynecological appointments leading up to that, but they couldn't support me properly during my pregnancy. And by the time that I found a midwife that aligned with who I was and everything I needed, I had miscarried. So I went through the journey of healing myself holistically, on a mind, body, and spirit level from the miscarriage, and then I became pregnant again without even trying, because the way that I healed myself, I fasted for 30 days, and before I ate raw. Well, I didn't even eat anything. I had all fresh fruit and vegetable juice, a gallon of it a day for 30 days. And I think maybe around the 25th day is probably when I got pregnant, because when I did the calculations, I was pregnant before I even finished the fast. But that's what took place as a result of healing. So became pregnant again, and that first pregnancy experience and all the healing, it taught me to trust my instincts fully. And once you decide to fully trust something and stand on what you believe in, you're always presented with the opportunity to prove what you believe. So for me, this opportunity came in the form of a pregnancy scare. I worked remote, and I was working, sitting at my desk, and then I just felt this gush of, sorry, my rainbow baby's talking to me. Can I do what? Okay, just 1 minute. I was working, and while I was working, I felt this gush, like warm gush of liquid. And I'm like, what is this? This is my first trimester of my second pregnancy. I'm like, what is this? What is happening? Like, why is this happening? What is going on? So I was able to gather myself, get myself together, and I took myself to the hospital. My partner was working over the road, and I was by myself. So I had to do it myself. So when I go there, I'm trying my best to be calm, but they're asking me in the hospital, in triage, they're asking me all these questions. Your blood pressure is elevated. Are you afraid? Are you nervous? And I'm trying my best not to say, what you think? Like, I'm bleeding. I told you what's happening. Yes, I'm nervous. Yes, I'm afraid. I just stayed calm and said, yes, I'm nervous. I'm afraid. So, again, this was like it's 2022. So off the back of COVID, maybe end of 2021, beginning of 2022, somewhere around there. After COVID, so they're trying to push a COVID vaccination, and this is not what I'm here for. But you're talking about a COVID vaccination. I'm telling them no. They're trying to sell it to me. Tell me all these things. No, I don't want a COVID vaccination. I'm not here for that. Tried to hook me up to an IV. Oh, maybe you're dehydrated. No, I'm not dehydrated. I drink a gallon of water a day. I don't need an IV. I just need an ultrasound. That's all I need. So I tell them I need an ultrasound, and then they try to shove a waiver, or they did shove a waiver in my face of a transvaginal ultrasound, so to go inside of me instead of a traditional ultrasound on top. So once I get this waiver, pretty much, the waiver is removing them from any liability in case of anything unfavorable taking place as a result of the transvaginal ultrasound. That stirred something in my spirit. I'm like, nah, these people don't have my best interests. Like, no. So I didn't sign it. Didn't want them poking and prodding in me. Didn't want them pushing up in me, probably increasing the bleeding, exposing my uterus directly to radiation in that invasive way. I didn't want any of that. So they made me wait a little bit longer, and then I was able to go into the room with the ultrasound tech for a traditional ultrasound where, she did it topically on top of my belly. And she was tight-lipped, and I asked a couple questions. She's telling me, oh, I can't tell you anything. I can't say anything, and you have to wait for the doctor. But what she slyly did, which I was grateful for, she did increase the volume on the ultrasound monitor to allow me to hear the baby's heartbeat. So, that calmed me because I heard the heartbeat. So I'm like, okay, so baby's fine. After that, I waited even longer because the original doctor that I had seen, or that saw me, who was trying to push the vaccination on me and all of the other things, it was a shift change. So he had left. And I was sent to a waiting area, and then the new physician on shift, like, he was doing rounds and was, addressing everybody that was waiting and all of the things. He was like, did anybody tell you what happened? Did the ultrasound tech tell you what happened? I was like, no, nobody told me anything. And the ultrasound tech told me that she couldn't say anything. And he said, well, she could have. Sometimes they choose to, and sometimes they choose not to. So that threw me off. So he did inform me. He told me that I had a subchorionic hematoma, which is a tear in the chorion. It's like a layer of the uterus, and there was a tear in it, and that's what was causing the fluid and the bleeding. So I'm like, okay, so what happens now? What can be done? He was like, well, it's essentially a waiting game. Like, you gotta wait and pray. Sometimes this happens and all ends up well, sometimes it worsens. So he essentially just told me, take it easy, don't do too much, don't overexert myself, and to be real, like that was my first interaction with that man, and it was the kindest interaction that I had at the hospital. And gratefully, I never had to go back because I was blessed enough to birth on my own terms and experience pregnancy from there on out on my own terms without any medical intervention. So this story, I told my grandma, like not too long ago, I told my grandma this story, and she was like wide-eyed and inspired. My grandma's about to be 80 this year, and she had a miscarriage like 42 years ago. But after learning about like this part of my pregnancy journey, she wasn't so sure that she actually miscarried all those years ago, because she too went to the hospital as a result of bleeding, but she likely was in the same state that I was during my first prenatal doctor's visit, like not grounded, uncertain, frazzled as a result of the bleeding, worried, no guidance, didn't know what to do. So she told me that she was bleeding. The doctor told her, you bleeding, so you miscarrying. Like, that's it. Mind you, 42 years ago. You bleeding, so you miscarried. You miscarrying. So without even giving her a moment to think, they telling her, all right, they prepping her a DNC to remove the fetus and the fetal tissue from her uterus. She had the knowledge to say, okay, let me wait and see whether she was truly miscarrying. She said an ultrasound wasn't an option at that time. I didn't explore it. Like, I didn't know why it wasn't an option. From what I gathered, she said it was because she wasn't that far along, so she didn't miscarry. And I asked her, I was like, well, why didn't you just choose to wait? Like, it didn't dawn in your mind to wait? She said, no, I just listened to what the doctor said. The doctor said I was miscarrying, so I miscarried. And this, my friends, is what happens when you don't know or don't feel that you are in control of your body, and you allow doctors to dictate your decisions. Like, just imagine how many women share the same or similar experience as my grandmother. Imagine if I hadn't done the work to heal and fully follow my spirit. Like, it's possible that as a result of me bleeding, I could have just went ahead and let them do the transvaginal ultrasound, poked and prodded me, and something unfavorable happened to my pregnancy. I wouldn't be able to birth my rainbow baby. Imagine if I was afraid to tell the doctors no and just didn't refuse everything that didn't align with me and just blindly followed and listened to what they said. And this is the purpose of that video. It's my mission to do all that I can to remind as many women as I can of the power that they possess. Your body is yours and only yours. If something doesn't feel right, do not be afraid to advocate for yourself in pregnancy, in labor, in any situation. If it don't feel right, don't do it. I know, like, sometimes things happen so quickly and doctors can quickly bombard you with a whole lot of information and sort of pressure you into making a decision, but do not be afraid to step back and think about what feels best to you fully and holistically on a mind, body, and spirit level. Very soon, I'll be launching my course, Reaching Your Rainbow, a guide to support you through holistic healing and natural conception after loss. Again, it's not just after loss. If you are on your conception journey, the guide, the steps, the pillars, the rainbow framework can fully support you as well. It'll be extremely accessible and informative to support you through the full journey of healing after loss through a natural conception, birth, and postpartum. So please be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to share it with you. I've been working on it for a very, very long time, and it is as a result of my life experiences, because I know I'm not the only one that has experienced this type of journey. So be on the lookout for the next one. I'm excited to continue to support and share and pour into you. So excited to launch this course, and I'll see you next time.